Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over a three-part story. I'm going to do one part today, possibly one tomorrow and the following day. So it starts off with my story, part one, the first time. He states, in 2011, my son 16 was going through some drug issues, caught me completely off guard. Would never have suspected that. So I logged into our phone account and checked to see who she was talking to and texting. While there, I got nosy and checked more messages. Well, I found that she was talking to the same number on her way to work, on her lunch break, and on her way home from work. Also saw that she sent thousands of texts throughout the day and night to this number. But at night, only the nights I work, but never when I'm home. So I did some digging and found the number was registered to a woman. I looked her up on Facebook and saw that she had 5 kids and was married. Her husband works for the same company that my wife does, just in a different city, about 2.5 hour drive away. And I remember my wife mentioning him once, saying what a hard worker he was and what a nice guy he was. Well, of course, she could have made friends with his wife. I had a girl I worked with call the number and no one answered, but it went to his voicemail. I also had noticed that my wife would text me sweet things during the day, but when she came home, she was cold. She would go from room to room looking for something to pick a fight over. I honestly knew deep down she was having an affair. I asked her about the messages and phone calls, and she simply said, "We're just friends." I replied back, "I have a lot of friends, but I don't talk to them 3 times a day, every day except weekends. They didn't call on the weekends, just texted when I was at work." So I told her it needed to stop. She flat out refused. So I started sleeping in the spare bedroom. Didn't bother her a bit. I called dude. He wouldn't answer. So I sent him a text message and told him to leave my wife alone. Within 2 minutes, my wife was texting me telling me to leave him alone. I told her I'm leaving. So I continued to see that they are texting, talking every day, and then it suddenly stopped. My wife came to me and said it bothered me too much that she would stop, and she did. Well, I honestly didn't believe her. So one morning, I put a micro recorder in her purse, and when she took a shower that night, I got it out, and she simply just started talking to her dude on her work phone. It was his birthday, and she was telling him how much she wanted to perform acts on him. She also told him this story about her son being sick while we were out of town visiting our parents. She told him that she took our son to the ER while I stayed in bed. What actually happened was my wife had plans with her sisters. I had no plans, so I told her to keep her plans and I would take him. I called my sister and she went with us. Now I didn't think she was a bad parent for keeping her plans. It was just one of those things that happen in life. But she completely made me out to be the bad guy and the bad father to what this guy calls dude. He calls the affair partner dude. Well, I confronted her again, and she said she would end it. That it was only over the phone, and that they only had met once when he had to come to our city for work, and they didn't meet outside work. Again, I didn't believe her, so I put a keylogger on her home computer and was able to get her password for her work computer. I found that for the past month, she was planning an overnight trip with one of her girlfriends from work who I had never met. Oh, this is really bad. My wife never bothered to tell me about this trip, but it was scheduled for the night that I had scheduled a larger golf tournament to fund a youth group. I put this on, so it consumed my time that entire day. Anyway, on Thursday before the tournament and her trip, my wife tells me about her plans only me she says her friend's coming here to our city and they are going out drinking. But of course, I already knew she and her friend had booked a hotel room in the city that her dude lived in, so I kept my mouth shut. That day at work, I was setting up for the tournament in the city that her dude lived in. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. So I kept my mouth shut. That day at work, I was setting up the tournament. She called me and said that they may go to Memphis because it was a bigger place and had more bars. I'm thinking, oh my God, you lie. The hotel was booked in Nashville. This is a lot to read, so there will be a second part. And that's what he says. I was like, wow, I foresee this getting really bad. So let's see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going to do the other video maybe later on today. I might. But I hope you like these stories. If you continue to like them, if you like them, just hit the subscribe button, share. You can give me suggestions. I also have an email address you guys can put in there. I'll place it in the video, in the comments, so you can maybe send an email if you want me to read a story. But thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a good day.